My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my review for The Last of Us Left Behind. And heads up, this will be a spoiler-filled review, so if you haven't played it, go and play it, then come back and watch my review because I will be going in depth. And if you don't know what this is a DLC attached to the first Last of Us game. It's not very long, it takes me about 2.5 hours to beat, but for what it is, this is yet another great addition to the Last of Us universe. There's two sections to this game. The first section takes place in the middle of the first game between the autumn and the winter section, and then the other section of this game takes place before the first game even begins, when Ellie is spending one night with her friend Riley. And I think both sections are both great in their own way, and they actually do have a bigger purpose behind them. But let's begin with talking about the section that takes place before the first Last of Us game. So, Ellie's sleeping in her bed, she gets interrupted by Riley, and just from the instant that these two start talking, you can feel that there's some kind of past there, that there's some tension between them. And I think that's greatly established, especially as you watch these two's relationship progress as the night goes on. But anyways, she wants to show you something, so you sneak out, and I just love the fact that while you're sneaking out, you can see in the background, there's two buildings leaning up against each other, and it's just like, oh, are those the two buildings that you go into in the first game? I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty certain it is, and it's just nice to see that in the background. But anyways, Riley's telling Ellie that she has a surprise for her, and I absolutely love the fact that Ellie first asked her, is it a dinosaur? And I just love that so much, because if you've played the second game, Joel has a surprise for Ellie, and Ellie asks him, is it a dinosaur? And you can just tell that's always the first question she asks. It's really in her character. It just makes me appreciate the second game even more. But yes, I love that little great moment. But this, there's not a lot of action in this section of the game, but what I love about it, it just captures the magic of the mundane. It just captures a sense of awe and wonder. Like Ellie and Riley go to a Halloween store, and Riley gives her a werewolf mask, and Ellie starts roaring, and they try on all these different masks. And it's just nice to see these two friends spending time together. You know, they're acting like kids. They're in the mall. There's no one else there. There's two vehicles, and they're like, hey, let's just throw bricks at them and have a competition. Like kids would do. And I just love Ellie's quote. If you win the competition, Ellie's just like, I'm the brick fucking master. I love it. I love Ellie so much. You then make your way downstairs, and there's a carousel, and you go on it. It just captures that magic behind it. Like, you feel like all of this would be long past them. But it's just a night where two kids can act like kids again. They go to a photo booth, take a couple pictures together. Riley gives Ellie a joke book, and let me just say this right here, right now. Every single joke in that joke book is comedy gold. Just absolutely hilarious stuff. I love it. How was a cannibal treated when he was late for supper? They gave him the cold soldier. I love it. It's comedy gold. But anyways, you just make your way through this mall. You go to an arcade. It's not working properly. So then Riley tells Ellie to close her eyes and to imagine all this stuff. And it just captures a certain magic, and it's just amazing stuff. It really is. You two then get into an argument, you make up, and then you decide to chase each other with water guns. And it's just, this section actually is fun to try to hunt down Riley and to spray her with water, and I like this section. And then they start dancing, and then Ellie just tells her not to leave, and you can just see how much she cares for Riley. And that's really the strengths of this section of the game. Just these two friends, they have a past, there's tension between them, and they just spend one night together just having a good time and just watching that relationship progress as the night goes on. And it all feels very honest, it feels genuine, and it is sweet. Even though we spend very little time with Riley, we still get a full sense of who she is as a person, and it's nice to see another side of Ellie. You know, when she's not just trying to survive, when she's being a kid. Also, I want to mention that there's one section where Riley's whistling, and Ellie's trying to whistle then too, and she just can't. And it's just nice when you play this, and then you play Last of Us, and Ellie gets better in in Last of Us because she's already been practicing. I just love those small little things because they really do make a huge difference. They really do make these characters feel lived in. I just love it. And then anyways, you guys are running away from all these clickers. They're about to escape, but the scaffold falls over, Ellie falls down, and Riley and Ellie both get attacked. They make their way out of it, but they both got bit. And we knew this moment was coming. And it is emotional just seeing these two friends talk knowing that they're both about to die. There's some great emotion in this moment. Like, you can just feel the panic in Ellie's voice. Like, she actually thinks that this is it. And it does break your heart. My only issue with this DLC, though, is that it ended too soon. Like, Riley and Ellie both get bit, and we know that Riley turns, and Ellie was probably in a position where she had to shoot her, and she never turned. And I wish we saw that. This is a franchise for going to those dark places, and I just feel like they didn't fully go there here, and I wish they did. I really do. I really do think then this would have been on the same level as the games. Because they ended this a bit too soon, it just doesn't quite have the impact that I wish it had. It still has an impact, no doubt, but it could have had a greater impact. The other section in this game is about you trying to find some medication for Joel, and it's not very eventful. You're just making your way through the shopping mall, trying to survive. You know, there's one scene where you're looking for medication in a pharmacy, and Ellie picks up a bottle, and there's no pills inside, and she's like, what'd they do? Swallow the pills and leave the bottle? And I just love that. I love Ellie as a character. But anyways, you end up looking for medication all over the place. There's a section where you get encountered by stalkers, and this caught me by surprise because I could have sworn stalkers were introduced in the second Last of Us game, but no, I guess they were introduced here. I kind of wish they were in this DLC a bit more because the stalkers are absolutely terrifying. That section where you're in the flooded garage or whatever of the shopping mall is great stuff. But you eventually make your way to a helicopter, you find some medication, you gotta make your way back. And I just want to say that if you read the notes throughout this DLC of these people the people from the helicopter who crashed here, who had to end up killing each other, I think that's another great addition to this universe. I love how these notes give everyone a bit of depth, even characters we never see. But then anyways, Ellie starts getting hunted down by these people looking for her and Joel, and I just love making it your way through these sections. It's a lot of fun. I love finding these guys. There's one section where you're above this group of clickers, and there's guys coming in, and you can throw a brick and draw the clickers towards them. I just love that kind of stuff. And then there's a big section at right by where Joel is, where there's the two escalators, the two different stores that have two stories to them, and I just love the level layout of this section. It's a lot of fun. Like, I played this time, and I found the hunting rifle, but by the time I found it, the DLC ended like right there, and I'm just like, ah, shit. Of course it ended right when I got that great weapon, but anyways. Then you end up giving Joel the stuff he needs, and you go on your way. Doesn't sound as eventful, but I think it's meant to draw certain parallels. You know, I think this DLC is about the loss of youth. Like, it's no coincidence that both of these stories take place in a shopping mall. One of them is Ellie and her friend, and they're having a great time being kids, joking around, dancing, playing games. And the other time you're in this shopping mall, you're fighting to survive. And I think the parallels are definitely there. You turn the power in both stories. One of them, you turn the power and you have to fight to survive. There are these stalkers coming after you. If you touch the water, you're dead. And in the other section, you turn the power and you just see this mall lit up and the carousel moving. And it captures a sense of awe and wonder. In one storyline, you're playing with your best friend, spraying water guns at each other, not trying to hurt each other in any way. And the other storyline, you gotta shoot to survive. You gotta kill the other people to get to Joel. In one storyline, you're running away from the clickers, and the other storyline, you're fighting them. And in both storylines, she almost loses someone she loves. She lost Riley, and she doesn't want to lose Joel. And she's got to fight to keep Joel alive. And I love Riley's speech as it starts playing into the credits of how you have to fight for every minute. And how Ellie lost Riley and she doesn't want to lose Joel, so she'll do anything to survive. To keep him alive, I mean. There's lots of parallels between these two stories, and I just love the idea of the loss of youth. How Ellie before this game, before she lost Riley, she still had some youth in her, but now that's all gone. She now has to struggle to survive, to keep the people she cares about alive. It just shows the harsh realities of this world, and I think it's explored brilliantly here. And one other line that I loved is when Ellie's just like, if anyone's alive, don't surprise me. I love it. I love Ellie. The voice performances are all great. Ashley Johnson as Ellie is fantastic as always. I love Ellie as a character. Lonnie King Medushin, she voices Riley, and she does a really fantastic job. And you really do buy the chemistry between the two of them. There's tense moments, there's thrilling moments, there's funny moments, there's moments that just capture a certain sense of awe and wonder and magic. It's got some emotion in it. I do wish they went a bit farther at the very end, but that all said, I still really love this DLC. I'm going to go ahead and give The Last of Us Left Behind a 9 out of 10. Okay, have you played The Last of Us Left Behind? Let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe. Stay tuned for some more videos soon, and Gavin out.